A subcontractor for a nationwide shopping chain posts their website connection to a larger company. Shortly after that, the subcontractor noticed an uptick in visits to the website and requests for files not listed on the site. What type of attack occurs when a website user requests a file in attempts of getting to the parent directory? That is a directory traversal attack. A directory traversal attack occurs when a website user requests a file in an attempt to get to a parent directory. If settings are not correct on the web server, it could allow a malicious actor enhanced privileges to the network. A company employee brought a personal computer to the IT department when it locked after receiving a file from a coworker. The screen shows a countdown clock with a threat of encrypting files permanently unless the user pays money. What type of virus was the user's computer most likely infected with? Ransomware and crypto ransomware. Ransomware is a virus that infects a computer and threatens to perform actions unless the user pays a ransom before a particular deadline. And crypto ransomware specifically requires monetary payment before destroying the key that would allow the decryption of the user's files. A hacker successfully exfiltrates a database of users' passwords and attempts to gain access to it, as the hacker can now go around the authentication system. What type of attack has the hacker achieved? Offline. An offline attack means the hacker has obtained a database of password hashes. The hacker can then perform attacks against this offline database in an attempt to compromise the encryption. A company prepares to add additional protection to its networks due to ongoing attacks. It is adding resiliency and high availability services, such as load balancing and cluster services. What attacks could the company be experiencing? That is denial of service. Denial of service DOS attack protections include high availability services such as load balancing and cluster services. Companies without these protections in place would have a hard time dealing with constant DOS attacks. A system administrator has monitored several areas of the network and local systems that are out of their normal ranges. The administrator begins to believe they have caught a hacker on the network. Analyzing their activities on the network provides what information? Tactic, technique, and procedure. A tactic is a high-level description of a threat behavior. Behaviors such as reconnaissance, persistence, and privileged escalation are examples of tactics. Analyzing tactics helps to figure out what to expect within an attack. A technique is an intermediate level description of how a threat actor progressed through a tactic. For example, reconnaissance such as active network scanning and email harvesting are techniques an attacker may use. And procedure is a detailed description of how an attacker uses a technique. For example, a threat actor uses a particular tool to perform a vulnerability scanning. A user contacts a company help desk complaining about intermittent access to file shares while working from different locations in the building. The user also noticed connection problems occur when the network signal strength is at its highest. What could this be a sign of? Rogue access point and wireless denial of service. A rogue access point AP allows a person with malicious intent to place a rogue AP with a higher power to capture usernames and passwords without getting caught immediately. And a wireless denial of service attack causes network problems by not allowing users access to legitimate APs due to the rogue AP's higher signal strength. While reading an IT-related website, a tech notices an anonymous user's post about a vulnerability in a popular freeware. This vulnerability allows a remote user to gain access to the system via the freeware and match the level of permissions the app has. What type of attack is the user's post alluding to? And that is application attack. An application attack specifically targets a weakness within an operating system or an installed application. The severity of the vulnerability will determine what a malicious actor can accomplish. An IT admin receives an alert regarding an employee's web activity in which requested addresses are not written in plain text, but contain entries such as %%%%. What could this employee be attempting to do? That is directory traversal attack and canonization attack. A directory traversal attack occurs when a website user requests a file in an attempt to get to the parent directory. If settings are not correct on the web server, it could allow a malicious actor enhanced privileges to the network. And a canonization attack attempts to circumvent certain web server command filtrations by using the canonization of plain text. If it is successful, it may allow code injection of directory traversal. While on patrol, a security guard discovers signs of forced entry on a window leading into the HVAC control room. Upon closer examination, the security guard notices hardly any lights or sounds of machinery working in the room. These are indicators of what type of attack? A brute force physical. A brute force physical attack is an attack against a physical aspect of a facility containing the physical hardware. Forcing a window and damaging HVAC equipment are excellent indicators of a brute force attack. An incident response team member identifies an attack on the system network. Upon further analysis, it is determined that a threat actor was attempting to send data to the system in a manner that would change the commands being sent to the server. What type of attack is occurring in this situation? An injection attack. An injection attack exploits some unsecure way application processes requests and queries. For example, a threat actor queries for information but alters a request to return more users' data than authorized. A hacker infiltrated a company's network and made a big show of removing files and causing network connection issues. After stopping the hacker and completing the cleanup, the IT department began noticing logs of users with multiple logins at varying times. What is the best explanation for how another user accessed the accounts? That is, installation of a keylogger. An installed keylogger, while everyone focused on the attacker's more significant malicious actions, is the most probable cause for compromised user accounts. A network administrator runs down a complex virus infection on the company's network. The file the administrator is chasing gains system-level access. It is also cleaning logs and uses variations on known file names to remain unfound. What type of virus is the network administrator dealing with? A rootkit. A rootkit is a virus that has gained system-level access and uses these permissions to spread itself throughout the system and network while concealing its presence within the system. A salesman reached out to a customer to find out why the firm backed out of the contract. The customer replied that the contract numbers were far more than verbally discussed. What kind of attack could potentially change the transmitted information? A on-path attack and address resolution protocol poisoning. An on-path attack can occur with data possibly changing after transmission, but without knowledge by the receiver or sender. In this scenario, the customer is experiencing an on-path attack. And also, address resolution protocol, ARP poisoning, with direct network traffic based on the local ARP table. ARP poisoning would create an on-path attack. A company CEO is upset after running into an issue where going to a specific website brings them to a malicious website instead. The security team ran checks and found the host file was manipulated, redirecting the unsuspecting CEO to the malicious website. What kind of attack does this describe? A domain name system client cache poisoning. DNS client cache poisoning occurs when an attacker accesses the local client's host file, placing a false name to IP address mapping in the file, effectively poisoning the DNS cache to redirect traffic. Okay. I understand that. A company has noticed an apparent uptick in users disconnecting their sessions, then immediately reestablishing them. Their behavior after reestablishing a session is also noticeably different. What could this indicate? A replay attack and cross-site scripting. A replay attack captures or guesses the token value and then submits it to reestablish the session illegitimately. A session ending and then immediately reestablishing would most likely indicate this type of attack. And also, a cross-site scripting can compromise session cookies, which could then lead to the prediction of future session cookies, compromising all future sessions. A new virus is infecting computers on a segment of a company's network. Containment at the time is unknown due to the virus changing its code. What type of virus is infecting the computers? A polymorphic virus can change or attempt to obfuscate its code, making it more difficult to track and remove from an infected system. An IT intern looks for information on previous network attacks, specifically indicators of attempted and successful replay, forgery, and injection attacks. Where could the intern find this information? The URL analyst. Universal resource locators can encode some action or data to submit to the server host. Analysis of these URLs can provide indicators of session hijacking, replay, forgery, and injection attacks. A new IT intern has been reviewing logs to gain familiarity and understanding of the systems they will support. During these reviews, the intern noticed that for the last few weeks, at the same time every day, several MBs of the data are being sent out. What could this indicate? Unauthorized data exfiltration and reconnaissance. Reconnaissance involves gathered information via scans, which can be difficult to differentiate between regular scans. The scanned information could be sent off network at regular intervals for malicious usage. And the movement of data at the same time for several weeks could be indicative of unauthorized data exfiltration. A transfer of smaller files will most likely go unnoticed. A system has set an alert due to a large increase in attempted logins to a company's web server, including failed intrusion attempts. The web server is actively under attack by a malicious actor. What could happen with a compromised web server? It could gain control of the host, they could steal data from the host, and they could gain further access to the network. A compromised web server could allow the malicious actor complete control over the host, giving them a foothold within the network that could be difficult to overcome. And the compromised web server would also allow the malicious actor to steal data directly or send information to an off-site server. And the compromised server provides a malicious actor with a foothold into the company's network from which they can launch further attacks or gain information without the network's security. A help desk receives multiple calls from customers stating that they are experiencing incredibly slow connections to needed files, and an increasing number of users are having problems logging into their user accounts. Resource consumption and resource inaccessibility are typically indicators of what type of attack. Denial of service. A denial of service attack uses multiple compromised machines to flood servers with repeated requests so valid requests cannot come through. These attacks consume enormous amounts of resources and can be led to inaccessibility. An IT intern prepares and connects used laptops to the company network. The intern discovers that some of the laptops have degraded performance and decreased storage. What is commonly associated with potentially unwanted programs? It is a software that is installed along a package selected by the user, and it also known as grayware or bloatware. Potentially unwanted programs (PUPs) include software that is installed along a package selected by the user or bundled with a new computer system. And potentially unwanted programs (PUPs) are sometimes described as grayware rather than malware and can also be referred to as bloatware. A company helps employees get up to speed quickly with correct documentation. Guidelines can be beneficial in accomplishing this goal. To ensure guidelines remain relevant, what must the company do to them? Regular review and periodic assessments and updates. Regular review of guidelines is essential to ensure that the documentation remains practical and relevant. Periodic assessments and updates to guidelines allow organizations to adapt them to changing technologies, business operations, emerging threats, and evolving industry standards. A multinational corporation is upgrading its IT infrastructure to enhance security governance and streamline its change management process. The IT department is considering various strategies to accomplish this update, which strategy most effectively achieves the corporation's goals, considering the inherent risks and benefits. Implementing automation and scripting to perform tasks quickly and efficiently. Automation and scripting enhance efficiency and security, which aligns with the corporation's goals. The IT department should use automation and scripting with care to prevent potential risks. A software patch was inadvertently pushed out early during the middle of the workday and has brought business to a halt. The chief executive officer demands that the systems return to full operations immediately. What part of the change plan will assist in this task? Backup plan. A backup plan is for reversing changes and returning systems and software to their original state if the implementation plan fails. A well-defined backup plan helps to minimize downtime and reduces the risk of data loss or other severe impacts. financial institution has evaluated its incident response plan and wants to incorporate automation to accelerate the detection and mitigation of security breaches. The security team must ensure that the automation does not inadvertently cause additional issues or conflicts. What is the best approach the team should employ when incorporating automation? Integrating automation tools with real-time monitoring and alerting capabilities. Integrating automation tools with real-time monitoring and alerting provides timely detection and mitigation of security breaches. This approach aligns with the financial institution's goal of accelerating incident response without compromising security. A manager reprimands an IT employee because the employee did not follow instructions on the server build. Each server's configuration was different, including different software and settings. What should the employee have followed to build the server correctly? Standards. Wow. A standard defines the expected outcome of a task, such as particular configuration state for a server or performance baseline for a service. Following the standard for each build would ensure each server's configuration would match. A healthcare provider's IT manager wants to automate routine tasks within its network security management. This automation will free up IT staff time and enhance system defenses. Potential risks are a concern, and the manager wants to implement automation securely. What strategy should the IT manager prioritize to achieve secure automation considering both efficiency and potential risks? That's utilizing automation tools with built-in security features and compliance monitoring. Security governance relies heavily on specially designed and interdependent roles. Each role has unique responsibilities that contribute to effective security oversight and control. What are some of these roles? Owner, controller, and processor. A high-ranking employee, i.e. a director or vice president, typically holds the owner role and is ultimately responsible for ensuring data is appropriately protected. The controller role closely relates to general data protection regulations and identifies the purposes, conditions, and means of processing personal data. The processor is responsible for processing personal data on behalf of the controller and often represents cloud service providers, although they could also be vendors and business partners. Due to the introduction of security vulnerabilities during a previous change, company leader wants reassurance and vulnerabilities will not happen again. The IT department has made several changes to its change management plan. What are areas the IT department would add to this plan? Impact analysis, test results, and backup plans. Impact analysis identifies this and assesses the potential implications of a process change, including how the change will impact all areas. Evaluation of changes in a test environment ensures they work as intended. Test results provide valuable insight into the likelihood of success without impacting business operations. A backup plan is for reversing changes and returning systems and software to their original state if the implementation plan fails. A well-defined backup plan helps to minimize downtime and reduces the risk of data loss or other severe impacts. A nationwide company realizes its current standardized approach to security is not working. The different company business unites need more autonomy and the ability to make decisions that meet their local needs and priorities. What type of security governance should they follow? Decentralized security governance. Decentralized security governance distributes decision-making authority to different groups or departments to to facilitate security-focused decisions based on localized needs and priorities. A security analysis at a large financial institution must find areas of security operations that cannot maximize the advantages of automation and orchestration. The organization aims to enhance efficiency and combat operator fatigue. Which of the following areas will experience minimal improvement by implementing automation and orchestration? Face-to-face cyber risk awareness training. Applying automation and orchestration may not bring as much efficiency and effectiveness to face-to-face cybersecurity risk awareness training due to the direct interaction between trainers and learners. It plays a critical role in effectively communicating and understanding complex cybersecurity issues. An earthquake occurred near the company headquarters, causing severe damage in the area. The earthquake affected the building, which would not be usable for several weeks. What plan will the company follow to maintain its business? COOP and disaster recovery. The continuity of operations plan, COOP, focuses on the critical processes that must remain operational during and after a substantial disruption like a natural disaster. And a disaster recovery plan details the steps required to recover from a catastrophic event such as a natural disaster. The goal is to restore operations as quickly and effectively as possible. As a security operations center analyst for a large financial institution that deals with high volumes of alerts and potential threats, what crucial benefit does implementing automation and orchestration in security operations provide? Automation and orchestration perform repetitive tasks quickly and consistently, reducing human error. Automation improves efficiency in security operations by quickly and consistently performing repetitive tasks, which reduces the incidence of a human error often associated with such tasks. To enhance its cybersecurity posture, a manufacturing company incorporates automation in various areas such as threat detection, patch management, and log analysis. The company's IT team must select the most effective automation strategies that align with the security policies and do not introduce new vulnerabilities. Which strategies should the team employ that would be the most effective to enhance its cybersecurity posture? That is, implementing automation tools that offer built-in security features in compliance with industry standards, and integrating automation with existing security tools and platforms for a unified response. Implementing automation tools with built-in security features and compliance ensures alignment with industry standards, enhancing the company's security posture without introducing new vulnerabilities. And integrating automation with existing security tools provides a unified and effective response, aligning with the company's objectives for enhanced threat detection and management. Several mission essential applications stopped working the morning after implementing a mandatory security update. As a result, implementing the security updates introduced several instabilities in existing software. What could have prevented this from occurring? Change management. If the organization does not properly manage the security update changes, it can introduce new vulnerabilities into the system, disrupt services, or negatively impact its compliance status. It will also create additional work to roll everything back to its previous state. A properly implemented change plan helps keep business operations moving forward. Restarts, dependencies, and downtime go hand in hand with change management. What is the best time to implement changes for an international organization? Off-peak times and maintenance windows. If an organization needs to perform a change during the day, it should take place during off-peak times, broadcasting the intentions to all the users, and maintenance windows consist of scheduled times when services can safely restart to allow for all changes made per the change management policy. Change management is not just for implementing software updates or hardware changes. For example, version control refers to capturing changes made to important documents a company needs. What are some documents or data that will utilize version control? Code, diagrams, and important data. Capturing implemented changes in code is important as it will allow for a quick reversion to a known good state of the code if a change causes problems. And capturing changes within diagrams ensures only the most recent diagrams will be available while archiving the previous documents but still having them available for reference. Important data will vary from company to company, but tracking changes will allow references for only the most recent data and avoid confusion. A global logistics company implements a complex automation and orchestration system to enhance security infrastructure. Concerned about potential misconfigurations and vulnerabilities that may arise from integrating various tools and platforms, the security team evaluates different methodologies to ensure a robust and secure deployment. Which of the following strategies would be most appropriate for minimizing the risk of configurations and vulnerabilities in the automation and orchestration system? That is, utilizing a threat modeling approach to identify potential vulnerabilities during the design phase. Utilizing a threat modeling approach identifies and mitigates potential vulnerabilities during the design phase, providing a proactive strategy to minimize risk in the automation and orchestration system. A new employee reviews key guidance given by the department manager. The manager reminds the new employee to pay close attention to the directive that concerns all electronic usage. What documents should the employee review? The AUP and Information Security Policy. An acceptable use policy, the AUP, outlines how individuals may use network and computer systems by defining what constitutes acceptable behavior by users. AUPs typically address browsing behavior, appropriate content, software downloads, and handling sensitive information. Information security policies are policies an organizations create to ensure that all information technology users comply with rules and guidelines related to the security of the information stored within the environment or the organization's sphere of authority. Companies that have existed for a long time typically employ many different types of servers and software. A lack of vendor support coupled with high complexity, poor documentation, and business critically raises significant security problems in the seasoned hardware and software. What are these types of hardware and software commonly referred to as? Legacy application and legacy systems. Legacy applications pose unique challenges for change management because they can be critical to business operations, yet built using outdated technology that cannot accept updates. And legacy systems pose their own unique problems when issues arise while attempting to install the latest software or patches. If the patch is uninstallable, the system is a security vulnerability waiting for exploitation. An IT manager prepares a proposal to implement change management. Before being able to start the program, the manager needs support from key personnel within every department. What key personnel does the manager need support from? Stockholders. Stockholders in change management are personnel with a vested interest in the change. Their participation fosters ownership and responsibility. An organization has hired an HR director to improve the performance of the HR division. The director first identified a lack of digital-only exit process for employees or contractors. What are some IT security areas an exit process should focus on? Account management, personal assets, and company assets. When a user leaves, the HR division immediately deactivates the account, marking it for auto deletion later. Any personal devices used for company activities must have the proprietary information removed, including the removal of any software purchased by the company. An organization must account for any electronic devices provided to employees during employment. These devices must be returned before the employee's departure. An inventory sheet allows for the accounting of all of the company property previously in their control.